Bass anglers are very focused on the moment. But what if I told you when it comes to wind, we need to also think about the day before? We're going to look underwater today to gain an understanding why wind patterns from the previous day or previous 24 hours can put you in the right location. This is also helpful if you absolutely hate fishing in the wind. We hear about finding the wind and fishing it all the time because it gets the food chain going. Microorganisms get stirred up, prey species respond, and then predators follow. But one thing that is often overlooked is the lasting effects of the wind the next day. And here's the real key: even if it shifts direction. In other words, where the wind was blowing the day before could still be worth checking out, especially if the wind is now hitting somewhere else. Well, let's take a look at this example here on my Deep Dive app. This is the feature I use the most when planning a trip. Now, even though I'm back home, we're going to check out a lake I was at earlier this year. I just love fishing in Minnesota. Well, we can see currently that the wind is sustained from the west-northwest at 10 plus miles per hour and gusting to 20 plus. This is predicted to happen for most of the day. However, here is the interesting part. Let's look at the previous 24 hours. Here we can see just yesterday the wind was coming from the south and hitting the north shoreline. Once again, the winds were sustained at 10 plus and they gusted the day before to 20 plus. Now, most of the time, anglers will go right to the shoreline that is currently getting hit with the wind. But the effects on the food chain of what happened on this north shoreline are still likely happening. Well, let's take a look at some footage from another lake I filmed last year where this exact same situation occurred. The wind had been out of the west and then completely switched from the east the next day. Well, here we can see there are hundreds and hundreds of panfish and other baitfish species up here in the shallows. An entire day of wind pushing into the area kicked up all kinds of those microorganisms that pulled in smaller fish. Now, of course, it doesn't take long, and then you will find predators coming into the area as well. Well, when the wind stops, the results of water movement all day don't instantly vanish. The water column is all stirred up and it takes some time for that to settle back down. And the predators, bass and other species, will be nearby as long as there are prey species in the area. Now, the water could end up slick calm and from the surface look like a tough day, but down below there's a lot happening. It is always worth checking out these types of areas, especially when you have 2 days where the wind direction changed drastically. You may be able to concentrate on an area that is out of the wind if you hate fishing in it and find a spot that is absolutely still teeming with fish. But what about our lure choices? Well, if you like fishing where the wind is hitting, it's hard to beat those moving baits like jerk baits, crankbaits, or swim baits. Those horizontally presented lures up in the water column can take advantage of the active fish quickly and find exactly where they are hanging out. But in this situation where you are now fishing a leeward side and the wind was pounding there the previous 24 hours, I like to go either one of two ways. First, a top water can be absolutely amazing. That currently calmer water that was all stirred up the day before can be ripe for active fish still in the area to smash surface lures. The next thing I like to do is work the bottom. Well, why? Well, a lot of the stirred up activity is going to begin settling back down, naturally pulling the food chain down as well. This is where using your favorite bottom presentations like Ned rigs, Carolina rigs, etc. can do some good work. And you can fish with confidence knowing there's still likely plenty of life in the area. Now, another key tip for fishing areas that were previously windy the day before is to think about distance. The water is calmer and we as anglers are easier to pick out and be aware of. Heavy wind kind of offers us some cover to hide our movements. The calmer water means extra long casts can definitely work to your benefit. Thank you to the Deep Dive app for sponsoring this video. You can find more information about them on the Google Play Store, the Apple Store, or you can follow the link down below. And hey, if you want to watch a video that goes over 5 ways to rig a lizard, a soft plastic lizard that is so underrated right now, go ahead and check out this video right here. And make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.